up, friends of the good mood? This is Money, and welcome to the new test server this weekend, 3.5, with a new light thunder called Gust. That's the name of the weapon here. Basically, we have Thunder, Storm, and Gust as a light breeze. And if you get very close with this, in this case here, we have the Gepard with it, you can do quite some damage. Of course, the fact you have to first get very close. But also being tested here is the Redeemer, a heavy version of the Taran, if you like. Basically, the Taran already deals a lot of damage, right? Now, this one here is a heavy version of it, so naturally dealing even more damage, so that gets me a little bit worried, but at the same time, it's only 350 meters range, so of course it also bypasses energy shields, right? So, yeah. I'll need you guys to comment on this weapon. What do you think about this? I personally like to have more variety and also a heavy version of basically Magnums, Tarans, and now the Redeemer then. But at the same time, there's a level 8, like everything is level 8 here on this test server. And that's a Leo. It has some massive amounts of health, right? But look how fast we destroy that Leo. Now that all 3 weapons are actually firing, it goes down very, very fast. But of course, it's a heavy weapon, and the Fury should actually deal a lot of damage with 3 of those, right? Anyways, I'll be making some separate videos for this too. Just so you know, we had so much stuff being tested on this test server that I can never, in one video, just, make a perfect review of everything. So what I'm going to make here, I'm going to make a summary of all the test server information here for you, show everything in action real quick, and then I'm going to make separate videos too, in detail about every single piece of equipment, okay? So, let's show you something that is also being tested. You can see it here, the new hit marker. Now that I zoomed in, you see the new white hit markers. Every time my Magnums hit, the white hit marker pops up. I think that's actually the best one we had so far. It's being tested as well. The good thing about it is it stands out. It has a different color now. It was red before, now it's white, so you see it better when you actually hit somebody. I think this one is probably the best one we had so far. And regarding the Gepard and the Gust weapon that we have on it, well, this is what usually happens. You get just completely squished because before you even get in range to actually deal some damage because, first off, the enemies are on the server when you and secondly, you have a lot really with it. Into the first real round, you can see team deathmatch now, and you use points. Basically, what you've done, you cut a middle piece into every, make a line down the middle in every map, and you will have 2 spawns on your side, and you will have between the enemy's side. There's still a little bit of difference between spawns. It's allowed you before one has spawned, you can get big or bird choice. And you can now choose relatively close to your enemy. And installing weapons in Team Deathmatch now have their fun, right? Before it was so you had to walk extremely far every time you died to walk through the optimum range arc of these enemy snipers and long-range dudes when you have a battle with a brawling bot, right? Now you can choose to spawn at the enemy side and basically bypass all that range. And this basically, and also the fact that these snipers in the enemy long range can also spawn wherever they like. So I think it allows every kind of weapon, emplacement to be used here. Long range as well as medium and low range. So it and more. That's the weapon we're using here on the grid. And yes, a bit of D we use here on G because incredibly sturdy, and most enemies were using the plasma weapons now because they wanted to test the Redeemer, right? So not as many people were running around with rockets, so you really could do a lot with these frontal armor platings on this regime, and the fact that you have 2.5 times as much damage output now with these, or with I think 2.5 if I'm not mistaken right now, with the damage output on the Regime, because once you activate the Bastion mode, you get a damage plus to your weapons as well, right? and that is really, really good. So it's one of the most powerful things you could currently use on this test server was the RHINO with these two redeemers. It's just amazing what it was able to do. Of course, we still had like the most annoying combo is still and will always be on the test server, the Lancelot, because on level 8 this thing is just destroying everything. And we had, as you can see there, 2 Tyrants and 1 Redeemer on the enemy side. That is a very powerful combination too, because of the physical armor plating that is available even while he's running around, right? But that's nothing we can't handle with a good old Galahad, a frontal armor plating, and 2 Gusts and a Punisher on it, right? That's what we have here on this one here. It's a Galahad with Gust, and Punisher. So a lot of projectiles being fired, a lot of kinetic weapon damage that, you know, gets rid of energy shields relatively well too, because, you know, you have these shotgun-like weapons like Thunders and stuff that really deal a ton of damage to energy shields, because every little pellet you fire actually hits them, right? And yeah. And of course the Punisher has a good amount of firepower and range itself, so something that you can utilize relatively well together with the Gust weapon, which is weird because one is lower range, very low range, the other is a little bit medium, longer range. But since they both help each other in terms of taking down shields and stuff, they actually work quite well together. Unfortunately, I'm squished here like a sandwich between the Fujin and that other Lancelot and another Lancelot and Lancelot here, Lancelot there. See how quick this Lancelot shield goes down from these from the Gust weapon? Crazy. But I really lost motivation to fight the Lancelot with this little gay part. It has 1/3 as much health. It has no armor plating, and it has light weapons compared to heavy and medium. I mean, seriously, what are you gonna do against a Lancelot at this point? And when you're not able to really get like in face-hugging distance with that thing, it's just a bit frustrating. See so many Lancelots being used there on the test server, but we're gonna have to deal with it somehow, right? So here we have the Aphid Vortex Griffin. It's basically a full Aphid Griffin, if you like, just with the fact that now the medium weapon is called Vortex, and it's very, very powerful.
tough game. Hey, what's up? Come on, let's win something good, some gold or something. Full squad. Yeah. Wow, that was rough. Man, my wrist is tired.